It's been a turnaround for AV. Curtis, what's happened with them over the last few weeks?
I mean, I think it's incredible. Like, they've turned around in the second half of the split. You know, they've obviously had a rough first half of the split. As Spawn alluded to before, they had their crisis meeting in Pinch, as he said in his interviews as well. They've had their crisis meeting. And I think that this has been a massive turning point for them. And now it feels like they're truly playing towards their strengths. Darkside's playing his AD carries now. They're getting him off the majors. And it seems like they've just clearly identified what it means to be an Avant player. And now they're just all inning on that.
You were saying before we even started the broadcast that this point of the split, you're kind of in the middle. You haven't started, so there's a bit of fatigue coming in, but you're also not close enough to the end that necessarily there's that last surge of momentum and burst. AV seem to be taking this opportunity to have a bit of a reevaluation and actually motivate themselves now.
Yeah, I mean, I think the quality of that game kind of shows how disciplined and motivated they are. And I think how clean their practice and obviously scrims have been. As you see, they had 5 towers. They killed 5 towers in pre-20 minutes. They had over a 10k gold lead pre-20 minutes. Their Baron control was absolutely exquisite. They had Caitlyn trap zoning. They had deep vision pinks all on the top side. They knew exactly what they needed to do at every stage in that game. And I feel like if they continue to play like this, Mammoth have no chance.
It was like they had a checklist and they were just ticking it off as they went.
Exactly.
You say Mammoth have no chance if they continue playing like this. How do Mammoth turn it around for Game 2?
I mean, I just think even from the drafting phase, it was just very, very strange. You know, they had, if you look at Mammoth from top to bottom their roster, you've got Chippy's a great carry player. You've got Juice, who's also that strategic guy behind the scenes leading the pack. And then you've got, I mean, the bot lane also very skilled, but more so those two players, Juice and Chippies. Chippies is the carry. You got to play to your strengths right here.
Yeah.
Juice in this game, you put Chippies on Mundo, a tank. You put Juice on the carry on the Kindred.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, maybe like objectively this is a great composition, but I just don't think this is Mammoth's place. I don't think this is what they should be doing to maximize their chances of winning. I think they need to go back to the drawing boards. Vicarious needs to seriously assess what it, like something that Avant did and get straight into playing their strengths.
Now look, from a competitive point of view, I agree with you because I think that they do need to do something to turn this around and win this. From an artistic point of view, I disagree. I think they need to tank the second match because art is pain. And tomorrow I am doing art with Juves. And so we are now going to draw the competition of what we're going to be painting. It's very exciting because I've been looking through the submissions as they've come through. There's been a bunch. We've had to cast a lot aside to try to narrow it down, but we have got down to a few finalists. We're going to run through them and then we can pick a winner together, okay? So we'll start off with the first one. This one came in from Jana Main. This is the Urgot Crab Skin Splash Art from the Chinese client. This, as a potential artist, terrifies me. The color palette doesn't give me a lot to do with, but the fact that I need to draw water, that's a no bueno for me.
I love Crab God. I think that's the sickest skin. I use that every time I play Urgot, but then I actually got inspired by Shock. Him playing a bit of Urgot, and then I tried it in solo queue and got obliterated. So, I mean, I think this is an amazing skin to draw.
You love this one.
Yeah,
I just feel there's a lot of fiddly detail here, and I'm worried about how fine my brush strokes are going to be. The next one comes in from Mate J Nolan. This is Project Jin. This is, again, we've got a lot of fiddly detail, but I love this image. I think this is sick artwork.
I mean, I don't think your fingers are going to be
How dare
capable
you,
of
sir.
replicating this.
How
I don't
dare
know,
you.
man. I've seen some of your drawings in the past. I've seen the way you dress and just what you I guess impose on everyone else.
Can we please get the
I'm
camera
joking,
back
I'm
on me?
joking.
What is he talking about? I look phenomenal today. My God. But no, you're right. My fingers can't do shit. But that one did look good. The thing I don't like about that is a very dark image.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can afford that much black paint.
Yeah.
Because there's the most expensive paint. Everyone knows because it's all the colors mixed together until it gets
We'll have
really,
to
really
fit that one
dark.
in the budget.
Yeah. The next one comes in from Elam. This is the OPL Barbershop Quartet. I love this. This isn't necessarily League of Legends artwork. I personally don't think how we can improve on this.
I mean, I think it actually suits Spawn.
My beard in that photo
Popping.
Is popping.
It is popping off.
This
man.
is Can everyone just look at that? That is pre-Matthew Bowden massacring my beard phase.
I want to.
That is a good beard.
Look at my beard.
Look at Bryce.
I'm
man.
working
Look
on
at
that.
that.
That's amazing.
That's 3 beards, and I'm struggling. I just started.
That's great.
I'm a bit of a pipsqueak,
I
but
mean,
I'm
I
getting
think
there.
if you remove Bryce or Ejim from that.
Yeah.
And the other three, it looks all right.
Put
Yeah.
Jake in instead. AVJ.
Oh, that's
Yes,
a good idea.
yes,
Yeah,
he can
with
grow a
his
beard.
top knot from
Yes,
today's
go-
match.
So I'm like
See you,
you,
boys.
Bryce.
See you
Don't worry.
later.
I'm like you. I can't grow a beard.
The only thing I don't like about that image, and it is the reason that I'm not going to pick it, is that it's clearly the image where Matt forgot to white balance the camera before he took a picture of me. So we can't use that one. There's not enough orange paint. This one comes in from Taylor Grant. This is the Gragas Classic Skin.
Yes.
I like this because I think this is bold. This gives me... this is achievable.
Very, very bold. I mean, this is who I should have guessed for your thing, boy. He's got red hair.
Oh, yeah. Well, does he have red hair? I mean,
Is it
yes,
red?
he does have red hair.
Orange,
just
red?
not on top of his head. He has it everywhere else.
Well, he's got
But
it on the sides.
I guess he's still a
sides and the
redhead.
back.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of emotion in this one as well, and I like the shiny red nose.
I think this is within your wheelhouse. I think you're capable of somewhat replicating this image.
I'm going to take that backhanded compliment because your last compliment was something about how I dress. This one, the next one came in from Fish. Again, this is perfection. It can't be topped. It's Fish. So I don't know how I'm going to go about recreating Hugh Hefner Crush Velvet, but I'll give it a shot, I guess, if it wins.
We're talking about getting in the mind of our casters.
Yeah.
What kind of sick human being sends a picture of himself in a purple smoking jacket
I know. I know.
to the place that he left to cast the LPL?
With an 8-ball mug.
The yeah, it's very strange. The arrogance of someone on the OPL broadcast trying to force an image of themselves into a competition. This next one came in from, this says Nick and Juice Forever. This is Vote for Elo. This is not League of Legends related. There's no, yes, here we go, sorry. This picture came in from Vote for Elo and it's called Nick and Juice Forever. That's what I'm trying to say. Do we have it? Maybe we don't have it. We don't have it. Okay, so everyone go on Twitter, and it's a picture of the god and the the finger painting.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
that
and then
famous painting, yeah.
It's such a shame we don't have the picture because the whole setup of the joke was that like, why would an OPL broadcaster try to force
Yeah.
a picture of themselves in? It's
And then you
picture
were
of me
gonna
and
do it,
Jubes,
yeah.
And then anyway, look, it was never going to win, so they can just bugger off. And then finally, this one didn't even have an image attached, so this is perfect for our production team. And it's this one's from your boy Big Dill, who says, I want to see Juves paint Nick like one of his French girls. I could lie down on the couch, have the heart of the ocean around my neck.
I don't know, is that appropriate for this broadcast?
Well, I wouldn't have to be naked. I
There's
just want to be
There's
naked.
a very big plushie sitting next to you on the couch that can be used as a prop.
That's a very good
You
point.
would-
Somewhere appropriately placed.
I was going
Yeah.
to say,
Placement is very
And
important.
have to get
do
cleaned
not.
straight after.
No.
No?
The plushie is innocent in all of this.
Yeah,
It is minding its
not
own
after
business.
tomorrow, Jake. Not
King
after
Poro
tomorrow.
did nothing wrong. Leave him alone.
All right, so we're going to have to pick a winner. The options we have, just to run you through quickly again. Urgot Crabskin, Project Jin, the OPL Broadcast Quartet, the Gragas Zoomed In, Fish by Fish, Nick and Juice Forever, which doesn't exist, and the final image, which didn't even get one, but everyone can imagine it in their mind.
I would love to say the fish one,
Yep.
but it has to be it's the only one. The Gragas one is the only one within your capabilities.
I'm really glad you picked that because I was going to pick the same one as well.
Yeah.
That it is actually something. I think the point of this competition is we need to, by the end of the broadcast, both have achieved a painting to the best of our abilities, and I feel like this gives us that option. So
Yeah.
tomorrow we are going to be painting Classic Gragas. Thank you very much to Taylor Grant. You have won yourself 2 tickets to the Melbourne Esports Open to see the OPL Grand Final. To everyone else, you have got skins and Hex Tech chests. We will be in touch. Thank you very much for all your submissions. We can't wait to see you at the OPL Final. Buy your tickets from Ticket Tech if you're not Taylor Grant. If you are Taylor Grant, hell, buy them as well and give them to your friends. Don't be a cheapskate, Taylor.
Yeah, you just won the competition. You'd have to also say that good that Juves is on because Gragas, historically, probably Juves' best champion, in my
Yeah.
opinion. He's a Gragas Jarvan kind of guy.
I would like to see him pick Gragas this game. Because the
Alright.
Kindred game
Good segue. I like it.
was not successful in any regard.
Normally, I throw us into Champions League, but if you want to continue to do this for us, that was smooth.
I'm just Matt's golden boy, you know? He can do
Yeah,
everything.
The best prodigy shoutcaster that Matthew Bowden has ever produced.
Well, we are into Champs League.
Yeah,
And,
keep going, mate. I'm done here.
Mammoth really need to switch stuff up. You know, Juves has been the guy in the past in the gauntlet to go into the mirror. You know, the mirror fogs into opaqueness, and then he sees the light, and that comes back with a huge revelation that wins them a bunch of games. You really hope, as a Mammoth fan, that happened this time, because a big change is going to be necessary. They're going to pick up game number 2.
So we'll see what they do change. Braum as well as Rakan and the Nocturne banned away. Swain, Zoe, Aatrox banned away. And another first picked Morgana.
They're just going to steal AV's comp.
I'm
Follow it up with a Gragas and a Caitlyn.
Auto were right all along, mate. We've been banning this
Busted
champion for a very long time. Jin.
Yes.
Whoa.
We've been seeing more of this because of a rune, the Hail of Blades.
Okay.
It gives you attack speed, which on Jin gives you damage, which means very early on into the lane, you like proc it when you auto attack, and like your Q auto trade does so much damage.
Okay.
So we've been seeing a resurgence of him. This is going to be the first one we see on the OPL stage.
We're also going to see a negative support coming out for Jake, which is his wheelhouse in the Tahm Kench. However, Remind and Jews grab themselves the Gragas Orianna. Have they just mind gamed them by saying, we will just pick your comp against you?
Is AV scared enough of this mind game that they have to ban away a Caitlyn?
I don't know.
Caitlyn does okay into Jin.
Nah, Jin always historically has been like good into Kate, I think. I think it's the opposite. I think I would pick Jin into Kate.
I feel like, yes, because you like have the range to back it up and like you can short burst trade, but I feel like Caitlyn with a Morgana versus a Jin Tahm Kench, I would still absolutely favor the Morgana Caitlyn.
Ah,
just because of like the support matchup as well.
In a 2v2, does anything beat Kate more?
MF?
Oh yeah, MF Zyra maybe.
MF Brand?
Yeah, maybe. All right, I'll give it to you.
There's probably things out there like against those sort of matchups, it just becomes cyclical and you just go alley. You go alley and jungler gank, so it's no longer a 2v2, but that just ruins everything. But yeah, Mammoth just going straight for AV's composition. AV do the right thing. They ban away the Gnar, and now Mammoth, they can't take it. They can't take the whole composition.
Respect ban the Mundo. Is this going to be a Caitlyn ban?
That'd be so funny. No, it's going to be Kindred. Okay.
Strange. Potentially thinking that Chippies is going to be grabbing that Gragas in the top lane.
Talked about it game number 1. There's definitely potential with the, like, I guess with Flex Gragas, you have a quote-unquote blind pick Trundle, potentially. Kindred, one of the junglers that can bully you out early. You have that range versus melee, and when you have lanes like Jin Tahm Kench that if they're getting shoved in can be a little bit rough.
And Talon, the ban away. Smite Talon is something that we've been seeing in solo queue a heck of a lot.
We have yet to see it. We've only seen one Smite mid laner in the OPL this split, and that was Legacy's Claire picking it up against the funnel from AV. Did very well early, but unfortunately fell down in that game. That would be a very peculiar lock-in. As they go to something more normal.
Going to be the Aurelia. No, Rise.
Okay.
The Do-Si-Do.
Going backwards. Rise going to be into the Orianna. Decent there. Frey's played a whole lot of Rise last week. Fancy feed on, was flashing in and out of Realm Warps, going absolutely everywhere. As
this is cool.
Morgana AD, Pike support.
Yep.
GP top, Orianna in the mid lane. For a second, now I need to tell you a little story here. Parbu, in a solo queue game I was playing the other night, Chippies was having a very rough time playing against Parbu's Pike top. And I saw like, supports are all locked in and I see this Pike pick up and for a second I'm like, oh my god, Parbu's doing it. But then it's actually just Mammoth and like, there's no chance of that happening whatsoever. But it has been played. It has been played and that's Cho'Gath.
But you'd have to say another finesse comp coming out. I mean, Juves has a little bit more brute fortishness about him. But the rest of the comp, not really all that much. Going up against Trundle, Cho'Gath, as well as Rise and Tahm Kench, which, if they get far enough ahead, will be tanks in their own right.
Yep. 100%. They have a big, beefy front line. They have the shred from the Trundle, and they just have 2 carries. So this is a very standard front-to-back composition. You have the tools like the Tahm Kench, the Devour, to eat you out of binds, to eat you out of shockwaves, to ruin Juice's combo, stuff like that. So AV just going for a very standard sort of play. Once again, Mammoth mixing it up, but Sharp was saying he wants to see Juice and Chippies switch those roles. No longer Chippies on the tank, Juice on the carry, and that's exactly what they've done this game. Yeah,
in saying that, if you go Aftershock or Electrocute on Gragas, you still do a truck ton of damage off your
Runic Echoes.
Body Slam combo, Runic Echoes, as you mentioned. So I think there's still ways for Juice to have early game impact. Obviously, the scaling out of Remind and Mash will be immense. If Mash lands a bind late game, even if you get eaten out of it, it will do 50% of your health if you dark-sided off, right?
You don't often see solo lane or bot lane Morganas without being the support. So when you actually have AP, the puddle does significant damage, so the push threat is definitely there. When you pick up something like the Pike, you want to be able to leave the lane early. Kuden has shown success on that pick, so see if he can replicate in this game with Mash just being fine in a 1 versus 2. Morgana very safe.
Certainly is the case. So we're going to see Chippy's on his patented gangplank. Impressive performance last week on this pickup. Going up against Pabu on Cho'Gath, something that we actually saw last series as it was Mimic playing the gangplank and Paprise playing the Cho'Gath. Thank you for the correction. We are on to Summoner's Rift for game number 2 between Mammoth and Avant Gaming. Joining us is going to be Vicarious, coach of Mammoth. Welcome to the desk.
Hey guys, thank you.
So first question is, you had 3 out of 3 lock-ins that were Avant's comp from last game. Hypothetically, if they hadn't have banned the Gnar and picked away the Caitlyn, would you have just picked their entire comp?
No, we actually had this comp in mind. Like it was something that we've been practicing, so they just happened to actually have half our comp as well last game.
Just a happy little coincidence there.
Logical yet disappointing answer.
Yes, 100%. And I want to talk about last game.
I mean, the dance not too disappointing, I guess.
But what happened there? Like, laning phase went very poor very early in the game. It looked like Jews really didn't have avenues to play through. Like, was it a draft thing? What was said backstage when you guys came out of that game there?
I think it was just that I think our bot lane sort of overlooked the power that Kate Morgana had, especially when Kate got level 2 off the Scuttle Crab.
Yep.
And so yeah, there was just like a very small mistakes they made. I don't think anyone's like too worried about it. Yeah, then like it kind of just like slowly snowballed, and we didn't really stop the bleeding that effectively that game.
All right, and we're going to see a late invade come in, so we'll hold the last question for 1 second as Chippies is going to run in. Prayless is also there. Very nice body slam, and they will get the flash out. Also looks like they might be able to get the buff, however, has turned into a contest, and Prayless will get it. So even though they get the summoner spell, they don't get the level. My last question is, Sharp talked about on the Analyst Hangout, you know, you've got the inverse on Mammoth and what you might want on this patch, with Chippies being a carry player and a lot of tank top laners being prevalent, and Jews being more of a utility jungler, and a lot of carry junglers coming back in. Does that make your job as a coach a little bit more difficult, or do you think those players are a little bit more flexible than maybe Sharp is giving them credit for?
I think they're more flexible than people sort of perceive, and like we've tested multiple picks and have like various success in it. And but yeah, no, Chippies can definitely be on a tank and Jews on a carry. Like Jews played Kindred last split as well.
All right, cool. No, that's all I've got as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Vicarious. Of course, coach of Mammoth. Very good delayed engage coming in. Pity they didn't get the buff because it's really put Jews behind.
Yes, 100%. 12 CS to 0 now. He's working on that blue buff. The fact that they burnt Prayless's flash and then turned around and like left the play, they didn't want to, because level 1, level 2, tanking a red buff does significant damage. So Jews and Chippies, despite winning the 2v2 in isolation, couldn't do it with a red buff, so they back away. It buys enough time for Prayless to hit him with a Chomp Smite. They have that secure. So it's very nice for Prayless to not lose his buff, and as you mentioned, Jews finds himself in a little bit of a hole.
So talk to me one more time about that swirly that is around Jhin right now. Hail of Blades. What does it do for those that weren't paying attention during Champions League? Because actually, hold that thought, that's going to be Ignite used, and they will just eat up Darkseid, so he's going to be A-OK.
I'm 90% sure on this one. And it's like, when you auto attack champions, like you get attack speed, and you can break the attack speed cap for 3 hits, which is less relevant. Jews actually in a bit of trouble.
Going to get pillared as well. Misses his body slam. There's no flash out of Prayless, so can't go over that wall, but gets the summoner.
That was very gross. But the big thing is that Jhin doesn't scale with attack speed, right? Like, it just turns into damage. He gets different stats when you build different things, so it means that your upfront burst is just so huge. If you can time it and get your 4th shot, your crit off when you have bonus attack speed, stuff like that does so much damage. And because of that reason, we've seen a lot more people picking Jhin again.
See whether they can use it well. The one thing I always liked about Jhin is that you can trade very aggressively. You have 2 pots to start up the game, and your bases on longswords are just better than anyone else's bases in the game. Not to mention the fact that if you have to go crit, you know, the bases on daggers aren't also all that bad. So he's just much more versatile in his back timings than other people. As Prayless going to find out Kuden has to dash away.
The one thing is, though, that's against a normal AD carry that wants to build a BF sword and stuff like that. Morgana, you know, he can build amp tomes, he can build different stuff, so it's not the biggest of deals for MASH in this particular game. Praelis just leveraging his jungle lead right
Jake
here as
walked the wrong
Jake.
way there. Will go very low, however, uses that grey health nice and early. Darkseid trades back nicely, but you feel like this has to be pushed in now.
But he has a decision to be made right now. They have the jungler who did just back away in their back pocket, and obviously Mammoth don't know that one, but Jake does have the spellbook, so could wait another whole minute and 5 seconds to go for TP. Juves, though.
Meanwhile, Juves will be rooted up, will try and body slam his way to safety. That is going to be the phase rush popped on Frey. Does he continue to go for it? Yes, he does. Flash forward. Needs one more spell, and it looks like he will just be able to get into range with it. Yes, he can. First blood picked up for Frey.
Still 3 seconds on the body slam, ticking down. Juves desperately waiting for that cooldown, and this isn't a tanky Gragas. It's not an aftershock. He went for the electrocute. Falling down this early in the early game, super rough. If your solo tank is set behind, all of a sudden your support is a Pyke. He doesn't even build health. He can't. He doesn't get anything from it. Chippy's on the gangplank. He's not tanky. So Juves really needs to be the front line for this team, and falling incredibly behind so early into the game.
Not to mention gave a very good scaling mage first blood there, as well as some experience advantage. Pabu, here's top lane. He's going to get run down here. Chippy still has flash available, as does Pabu. But that is a full HP gangplank. One more auto attack with the passive there would do it, but he can't find it.
Yep, Praelis ring around the rosy here. Does not have a flash of his own, so can't close the gap. Walks all the way around the wall and just goes back to his golem camp. Juves looking for a little bit more of an invade, but is spotted out on vision. AV have known where Juves has been the entirety of this game. The fact that Praelis could invade so deep so early. Oh, Shockwave though.
Going to be used. Flash forward out of Kunin. Juves will be able to be there as well. Kunin grabs that kill.
Yeah, that's a very nice turnaround. Good roam from the Pyke. Morgana has priority 2 versus 1 right now. Just shoving in that wave is so incredibly safe. So finds an opportunity. Has actually gone for the cleanse as well. You want to, with these spellbook, just be cycling summoner spells. So you're increasing the cooldown every single time you cycle. So it gets exponentially better as you go later on into the game. So it doesn't necessarily really want to cleanse. Could be useful against a Jhin and lane. Sure, if like Tahm Kench hits you with a Q, they follow it up with CC, you can dodge out of that one. But it's just about putting them on cooldown all the time.
Certainly is. New summoner spellbook. Still a unmastered rune, I would say.
Is currently being explored.
Yes.
I feel like when it got changed, everyone's like, oh, this is garbage. And then 2 weeks later, everyone's like kind of tentatively sticking their toe in the water like, oh, maybe it could be okay.
Maybe it's like Aatrox. We needed to give it more of a chance.
You did say that you were going to be representation for underrepresented things in League of Legends.
I think it's good.
Are you backing on Spellbook?
Yeah, I will go further. I will say a new Spellbook is good.
Okay.
I will not say broken. Like, it certainly isn't like a you must pick this rune, as old Spellbook was in some situations.
Yep.
But it is good.
It also has, like, in terms of not support matchups specifically, but solo laners and stuff like that, you have, like, very weak windows where pre-6 minutes, pre-level 6, like, you are straight up weaker in terms of combat stats. So your opponents have a very broadcast window to punish you.
Yep.
So there's
That's
like
not
certainly
bad necessarily.
Yeah, there's certainly like it's not going to be broken in that sense, and like there are heavy downsides.
And this is actually going to be the open up of the curtain call. They will just stack in a row, take a little bit of damage from Kunin, but he'll duck into fog of war, be okay.
100%. Smart decision to tank that one with a Pyke there. Working on his Targons as well. Has upgraded the Relic Shield first buy, so he's going to be getting 3 heals off every time that's up rather than the 2. AV though, they pop the ultimate and they're bringing down multiple people to the bottom lane. The turret's incredibly healthy.
And that's binding used from MASH, so they will not pull the trigger. I thought that would for sure mark them going in. However, it doesn't. They just deny the creep wave.
Yeah, but pings on the top side of the map. Chippy's just assist pinging his wave right here. Remind walks up there and Juves now following
Chippy takes up the turret. Pabu does have ultimate available. However, now Juves tanking up the turret. Remind also going to join the party. How many people can they bring up here? Juves, will he go down? No. Remind, one more auto attack. He doesn't get it. He just gets slain by a turret. And Pabu somehow walks away.
Today, dives have been awful. Mimic and only messing it up in the bot side all of a sudden. Mammoth do exactly the same. Frey looks for something, but that top dive was disgusting.
Yeah, it certainly was, and not in the good way. As MASH now stuck between the wall, has to flash over as well. That will be the stopwatch used, and he's just not going to be able to live through this one. Frey picks up another kill. Meanwhile, Pabu has teleported back top lane, and he doesn't have any health. Bryce, I don't know what is going on today, but it seems like some of the pro players are playing on the edge.
Lost their minds. He's testing limits here. TP comes out. He wanted to buy enough time, be able to clear the wave against the Gragas, against the GP, so that AV could get first brick on the bottom side of the map. They had 4 members, but because they went for the kill, because they pick on Mash, it means that Mammoth, despite screwing up heavily on the dive top side, they still get first brick for the GP. So, sure, dive is awful, goes disastrously, but Chippy's still 30 CS up, has that kill gold as well, and has the turret ult on the back end. This is a klepto gangplank, so scales incredibly well.
The thing is first brick is about a turret and a kill. So they were even until Pabu decided that he wanted to give his life to the Lords of Valhalla so Jake can grow an even more glorious top knot in the future.
Is that what he needs? He needs his side laners to int and his beard and his top knot just continuously grow.
Yeah, right now we're going to have 30 CS advantage for Darkside. We're also going to have a 30 CS advantage for Chippy. I would say for right now, I would value Chippy's gold lead a little bit higher.
Yep. And Mammoth just flipped the map here, matching AV. They know that taking away the dragon, breaking top turret, the textbook play for AV is to put Jin and Tahm Kench top side. Mammoth match, not because they want the 2v2, hold that thought actually.
Ulti coming in, it's just Jake by himself.
Cleanse.
Will use the cleanse, will get the first lick, will not get the slow, but he doesn't have the flash available, but the stun is there. He's going to eat him, he's going to spin him back out. Mash in so much trouble now, will fall down there looking for the disengage. Kuden's still chasing. Chippy's preps a barrel if that teleport is completed, and it will not, it will fizzle. But now they've turned around for too long. Kuden splits the wickets there. And they will just disengage.
And it just means the 1 kill going over. Mash falls down yet again. 0-2 and 0 on this Morgana. Has TP to get back on the map and back into play very quickly. But AV, once again, coming out victorious.
In behind. Chippy's goes too far forward. We'll have to use the oranges. But now Gragas is in behind. Party cast whiffs on everyone. Uses a body slam forward. Now Mash rejoining this fight. Shockwave will take down Prayless.
But this entire time, the solo laners of AV have just been shoving in the other lanes. Frey left completely alone. Has 2 kills, is farming up a storm here. Pabu trying to get himself back into relevancy. No mana, but can they take any more on the top side? Mammoth, it looks like the answer's no. They shove in the wave, but with no cooldowns, with no CC, they can't take down the turret. Kuden.
Frey will get stunned up, will not be able to complete through there. Will Zonya's also, but that's not going to save him, so will fall down.
It buys a little bit of time. It means that Kuden doesn't get the kill there, so unfortunately for Remind, he does not get his cut of the gold.
Well, he gets all of it.
I mean, yeah.
All right.
He didn't get his cut. He just took the pot, you know? The entire, and he just scooped it in, and Kuden's like, oh, man, it's a B up. This is a very volatile early game. Last week, we saw some incredibly long 20 to 22-minute laning phases. These teams want absolutely nothing to do with that, fighting all across the board.
You would argue that if a team benefits from disorganized, scrappy early games, probably would be Mammoth.
Yep, 100%. Not to mention if you're trading kills with champions like the Gangplank, stuff like that. Sure, if he dies, like he doesn't care as long as he's getting a kill in return, because gold for him just means so much more. Chippy finds himself in a pretty decent position. Remind, scoreline looks all right, but AV sitting on those 1-item spikes. Storm Razor now completed for the Jin. Archangel's working towards for the Rise, and Glory for Pabu, so they've definitely been looking for opportunities.
It's always interested me that Morgana goes for Ludens as opposed to GLP. I think that shows that GLP is still in an awful spot. Because if anyone was going to build GLP, it would be a Morg.
I also feel like the changes that removed Ruby Sightstone and that made Glacial Augment just basically non-existent on someone other than like Tahm Kench, who's not going to build GOP, just kind of like further. It was like GOP was already a niche item. There was a few people that took it. There was that super fun Super Soaker Bard build that I'm really sad is gone that took it, but ever since the nerfs of the item itself and the few of the changes in the runes around it just ceases to exist in any sort of facet.
Yeah, because the reason it worked on Bard is obviously when you get a revolver and you're an auto attacker like Bard, you do a lot of damage.
Yep.
Very nice. And then obviously the item synergized with the rune very well.
Yep. You get the extra item CDR. When you stack that one up, you go Ruby Sightstone, which used to give you item CDR. Then you go Cosmic Insight, things like that. So you're just stacking items. Then when you get to 2 items on Bard, like you have the GLP, you have the Super Soaker, you have Frost Queens when that was still in existence.
Yep.
You just had a ton of slows and you take Glacial and you're super annoying to deal with.
Pabu in a little bit of trouble here. However, Chippy's will also have to use his stopwatch. Pabu will Rupture Flash away now, is on the defensive, will not be able to get out. He has no boots versus boots too. You would really question why he even used another party cast out of Jubes. And actually, Coonan just flips him back onto Chippies. Now we'll swim away through the land. Chippies still trying to take him down here, and Juve's just not doing all that much, but Coonan finally gives him his cut.
Yeah, that's his cut, and Juves is a party machine this game. Time and time again, the ultis are not going in his favor, but they do eventually take down the Cho'Gath. Pabu unfortunately loses his flash, but on the other side of the map, mid lane just farmed up by Frey. They go over, take top lane turret, 2 versus 1. Rift Herald as well. AV really just farming 2 sides of the map.
Oh, Remind? Did not get it.
Oh.
Did he get it?
Very close.
He did get it.
Actually,
So now they flash forward. Now Remind's in there. Shockwave will land onto everyone, but Frey's already been eaten up. Remind will eventually fall down. Juve's now going to be shot once, twice, 3. No, not 3 times. He got interrupted. As Frey also going to take that into the pit. Coonan now looking to get away, and Coonan picked it up.
he is a thief. This is a bank heist if I've ever seen one. Remind steals away the Rift Herald. Coonan snakes his way into the back of the pit, invises through mid lane. Can he live? Dodges out the rupture there, Pabu. Glory is up in about maybe 15 seconds,
But do they continue to chase this? At what point do you just abandon a lost cause? Right about now.
Yep, Coonan...
That was a Luden's proc that stole that.
Ah, yes it was, because the Shockwave certainly didn't do it. That's super rough for AV, because I was literally saying they're winning on 2 sides of the map. Sure, Pabu gets picked off, he falls down, but he's just a tanky Cho'Gath. It doesn't matter too much. They're getting top turret, they're getting Rift, but now that Mammoth picked themselves up the Rift Herald, now they can break open turrets and look to break open the map. It's a big swing.
Teleport going to be used mid lane from actually everyone. That is going to be Frey as well as Darkseid using that to get back out onto the map.
Dragon is going to be the Ocean Drake, so AV banking the mountain earlier on in the game.
So I have a question for you.
Yep.
Is Teleport now at a stage where it just needs to be removed from the game?
Well, it's certainly getting nerfed next patch.
Because it is getting nerfed. But back when like Ignite and stuff was taken on top laners, Teleport was actually worse than it currently is now.
Yep.
No, yeah.
You mean better?
Better back then
Yeah.
than it is now.
Yeah.
Now it's been nerfed, it's worse. Now they're nerfing it again to make it even more worse. But it's being seen in more positions now than it's ever been seen historically. And for things like that, they just use 2 teleports to get themselves a dragon. Like, that's not what the summoner spell is designed for, right?
It's one of those things, and like there's different schools of thought. The biggest thing for me is that some people are saying like teleport is gating players on their ability to like express skill on the competitive level, which is an objective bad thing. It's like you can't, like if you're a Zed player, you know what I mean? You have a really good laning phase, you get 2-3 kills, like you can't take over the game like an assassin snowballing could.
Yep.
Because like people just TP back to lane, they're farming items. You have to worry about like 2 separate groups of people TPing to your lane if you ever look for an all-in, stuff like that. So if it's gating, like if it's a negative overall, then something needs to be done. The nerfs next patch are like a minute on the cooldown, and that takes the cancelled cooldown to 4 minutes. But like, is that enough? A lot of people, like, League players are very knee-jerk.
Absolutely.
When Aatrox gets reworked, everyone's like, man,
Garbage.
This is garbage. And then he's literally broken. So we're yet to see until it actually makes it to the competitive stage and you see the best teams in the world experiment with it to see if it'll stick around. Or because I think the best state is for a top laners like have a decision to make between Ignite and TP. You don't want everyone taking TP every game. You don't want everyone taking Ignite every game. You want the diversity of both. As Juves.
We'll stick around. Actually, we'll go forward, and this might have been the wrong call because they will flash out of that. And now Juves is being caught. Will also burn his flash, but Frey will grab another kill.
Burns everything. Ultimate knocks them away, but there's too many members of AV, so they lose the jungler.
Meanwhile, Jit's been hooked, I think, but not really all that much coming from it, as he does seem to have lost some health, but nothing really happening.
Yep.
The thing that makes me worried for Teleport is feel. And I know this is a real bad way to do analysis of the game.
Yep.
But the map of League of Legends now feels smaller than it ever has in the past to me.
Yep.
Like, the meme of top lane being an island is well and truly dead. As going to be Darkseid speeding up and just runs away from Mash's ultimate.
He's zooming! As the Merc Treads doesn't even have Swifties or anything like that. It's the force shot and Nos is away.
He's out of there.
He's skedaddling.
But
He hits him with a dance as well. Darkseid's feeling good.
yeah, he is. To me, the map feels like right now that if you're a top laner, like Trance can come top lane with brown bags. Where in the past, that was never going to happen because if you got zoned away from a creep wave, you know, you didn't have the ability to take a bad trade and teleport back, you were just boned. But, you know, horses for courses.
I think it's also to do with the meta in terms of bottom lane. Mages take TP all the time because they don't care about having a heal late game and things like that, whereas AD carries absolutely do. Like, you have to take a combat like deficit to opt in for an AD carry TP, and ADs don't utilize TP very well at all. But like the best TP AD carry is like a Vayne? I don't know, like flanking? Like, I don't know, they just use it to get back to lane rather than making a big play.
They use it to farm gold.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying is people now use TP to farm gold as opposed to make plays.
Yeah.
And the point of TP is to make plays, not to farm. As we see, recall's cancelled. Also want to check back in with this game. 40 CS right now for Chippies, but a 70 CS in the bottom lane for Darkside. We don't often get to tackle the big questions, and I feel like this game probably is going to go the distance now. Like, if this one finished before 35, the team's made a very poor team fight.
Yep. Chippies is absolutely monstrous right now. The goal lead was heavily in AV's favor before, but is now dead even, all thanks to the Gangplank for the most part. About 2,500 up, has that 40 CS lead, has the kill, and is gone for the safety of the Starax. So he's feeling pretty good, and I feel like Chippies does this a lot. Whether it's teams just like not respecting the Gangplank or not knowing how to play around it, or there's probably a little bit of both where Chippies just knows how to play these Gangplank matchups very well in terms of not being punished, but he gets through laning phases unscathed, probably more than any other Gangplank in the league, and he plays a whole lot of Gangplank games. He's now 20 minutes, 2 items, feeling absolutely good, and it's going to be super rough for AV to deal with.
Darkside now going to have to speed up. Will zoom away. Will also look for the follow-up CC. Won't hit it, but he's also feeling very good.
Quick. He's not juking, he's dodging.
And
100%.
Gets another big crit into the back of Juves there.
AV. Trying to leverage Frey in the side lane. Has that Seraph, has the Banshees. Rises with a TP, much better in a side lane than Remind on the Orianna. So constantly Mammoth kind of have to look for an opportunity mid when Remind has to walk over there, and then they all have to back away and look for a recall as he has to catch the side lane. As you're seeing right now, that does give AV a little bit of time. We are after the 20-minute mark. Baron hasn't really been on the minds of either of these teams so far. But AV's is honestly pretty quick. Jin does it well, Ryze does it well. They have a tanky lineup, but I feel like we've seen this one before.
Certainly have this time, however. Kuden took even less damage. Harpoon will miss again. And Darkside is just blue suede shoes and around. Will not take any damage. Now, all of a sudden, Hook is on, but they flash forward, shut down Kuden. That could be potential to start up the Baron.
And he just swapped from another summoner to the flash. That was a 5-second cooldown when you swap with the spellbook, so didn't have that one available. Couldn't get out of the rupture, so Pabu just eats down the pike. Mammoth trying to defend this turret. Gangplank Orianna, pretty good at that.
Yeah, absolutely are. So they'll just clear that one out. However, the shutdown is going to be there for Pabu. Claws his way a little bit closer to relevance in this game. Juice, body slaps forward there. Body slam forward there. Will need to be careful. Got the big raptor, though.
Absolutely does. Darkside look for it, but the bounce, it's a little bit too late. Couldn't secure that one. Double Earth Drake
Hook on in the mid lane.
Nice.
Frey takes a whole bunch of damage. However, gets eaten up, gets spat out, and it's actually Mash that nearly dies.
Juves doesn't want to look for anything. Darkside is here.
Looking for it, flashes, gets on the other side, however now has to run away. Went for an auto attack and cancelled it, Bryce. You hate to see it. And now, Prayless still just trying to do this dragon solo. Will get it. Now they'll know he's there. You can see Frey corralling 2 members. Probably should have continued that fight, but Chippies is there. Juves now looking for a Scuttle Crab. Will give it over to his top laner, however. Now they're going to continue the chase. Chippies actually does massive amounts of damage to Frey. Flashes forward, gets knocked up. A very nice hook will drag them back, and somehow Juves lives. Now, Remind going to try and join the team fight. Prayless just dancing away. Will get pulled back in. However, Jake eats him up. Will flash him to safety. Good Pillar will keep him away from that. And you can see this chase is just going to continue. Pabu now will get bound up. Will just sit there on auto attack. Doesn't have the ultimate available. And Chippies goes over the wall. Will grab another kill for himself. He's on a rampage. Pabu is just getting tossed around like a ragdoll. Will now scratch his head. And that is a 3-for-0 trade.
And that was not a big team fight. But Chippies now 4-0-3. Cleans up absolutely everything. AV are making multiple plays. They're setting up at the Dragon. Prayless the entire time that whole fight was going on was just whacking away, taking down that Earth. And look, Frey hasn't recalled. Realm Warps in, immediately dies. Juves is missing CC. but it just does not matter. The constant chase from Kuden on this Pyke, he is the one stepping up for them this game. It is the hooks. Sure, they've missed. Sure, he died in the mid lane without flash, but he is the one actually making these picks stick, and Pyke's chase is just so incredibly good. Has the dash over the wall. Terrain does not matter. Constant low cooldown CC of that hook. You just flick people back over your head into your team, and Chippies is absolutely huge now.
Certainly is, and now
That's
Frey
a whole
going
item.
to face check onto Juves. Will use a big shield now. Remind in trouble, has to flash away, did not get over the wall, so the chase potentially is there. You can see Pabu is also flanked after them. If they pick up Juves here, this could be the Baron. Curtain call is called. One shot, two shot, eaten up, and Pabu now is actually back in this game, and that's Baron on the card.
And just as Mammoth get themselves a gold lead in this game, AV have had so much control. They throw it all away. Remind looking for a pick topside, super volatile. They get onto Frey, but they can't take him down, and Juve's dying. This is a pretty risky contest.
Drop the
Hook lands
cannon,
onto
however, Jake is just trying to stop them single-handed. Will have to burn the cleanse. I feel like if they just had to commit to Baron, they'll be all right. But they tried to do both, and now they're in some trouble. 300 health. They actually steal it. Kuden steals the Baron. Now he's popping off with the reset. That will be another member falling down. And Avant cannot save this. Frey will get shot in the face by Chippies. They clean house and take Baron.
The Storm Razor crit and the parlay just hits Rise in the face, and both teams just playing a game of tennis. The toss back and forth. Mammoth throw away their lead, but this gangplank is so incredibly big. Big miscommunication here from AV. Praelus wants Pabu to tank the Baron this entire time. He's much tankier than the Trundle, and Praelus goes down as Kuden actually snipes away the Baron with a Pyke ultimate. This is a carry support if I've ever seen one.
Certainly is. Kuden, we said, he is having the best performance that we've seen on Pyke and looking to push his team towards a game number 3. Chippies right now, 3 levels higher than his opponent. 705. He's about to Flame Horizon him. If we could get a look at the gold, sir, I reckon he's about 7,000 gold up.
He's 7,000 gold up.
That is a lot of gold.
That is more gold than Jake has, and that's basically the amount of gold that
He's
Praelus
a
has.
Praelus ahead of Pabu.
That's disgusting. How does this happen so often? So many times. Chippies last week as well was 1v4ing in the base. Gangplank, just such a good tool. And this is such a big turnaround from game number 1. The draft from
Much
Mammoth, so much better. The carries are on the carry players this time for Mammoth. Of course, Vicarious talking about the players are versatile. It's not like Juves is a stranger to playing Kindred, but they flipped the switch this time, look much more comfortable, and sure, they were losing up until 20 minutes, up until they made that very elongated pick after pick on the bot side of the map, but now they've taken firm control.
Certainly have, and now they're going to look to continue the siege. About 6,000 gold up. Pabu will run forward, will look for Juves, however, will not find anything.
He'll spam some emotes as well as he just walks away there, splitting the map. There's no way Cho'Gath Pabu can actually stand up to Chippies in any respect. He's literally 2 items down right now on the Gangplank. Gangplank's level 18. The first to hit it, the closest, is level 16 of Frey in the mid lane from AV, so 2 levels up on everyone on the map minimum.
That keg will land as well. They'll go for the keg, however, just pushes Jake into the wall.
Kuden.
And now Kuden, very low, will get not hit by anything, actually. They use the curtain call as well, so important tools wasted.
Burns the ultimate from the Jhin. And they get down the turret, so Mammoth just extending the gold lead right now, 7,000. Probably 6.5 at this point. Kuden, once again, looking for an opportunity. Very hard against a Rise with the Banshees. Wants to be able to throw out a hook just to break it.
Yeah,
Pabu.
however, will go for Pabu. Now they want in, however, into the back line goes Praelus. Juves is being caught out. Now the Gangplank ultimate is there. They will just take one and disengage. You can see Chippy's doing so much damage, and Praelus has been split from the team. Obviously, he didn't get the memo that they were out.
And AV, they look to make the play. You know, carries in the bottom side. There's only really a few opportunities left in this game. They choose to take it. They lose Praelus on the back end. Pabu half HP. Kuden looks to go in.
Goes in, takes some damage, however, mash flash forward. That's a nice Morgana ulti. Will be able to, no, actually doesn't connect onto Jay. Now the flash forward is coming out of Pabu, and they're looking to try and turn this one again. Pabu gets rooted. Pabu gets hooked back. He will go down. You can still see massive damage coming out of Darkside, but they are onto the inhibitor. That bind not going to hit anyone, and Chippy's just zoning them away. So dangerous right now on the gameplay. They will take the inhibitor and disengage.
They finally break the base here. Inhib number 1 goes down. AV have the Dragons, but Mammoth firmly with the Goldie right here. Probably just going to get themselves a nice little air Drake and go back to base. Navy, they picked their window. They're so far behind at this point. Chippies is so incredibly scaled. Could not find it. Once the carries arrived, once Remind, once Mash landed to the mid lane, AV just had to run away.
If you can kill Chippies,
Yep.
they're technically only 1,000 gold ahead.
That's a big deal. If you can kill Chippies.
Yeah.
If you can kill the Sterax Oranges Gangplank with 9 million kills.
Yeah.
It is a task.
Look, I'm not saying
It's certainly
that
doable.
they can kill Chippies. I just said if
Yep.
they can.
Just floating it out there. Floating an idea, you know?
Yeah.
You're just putting it into the realm of possibility.
So if Chippies and Pabu trade 1-for-1, theoretically, AV should win the fight.
Yep. I feel like the 2-5 Cho'Gath with a Righteous Glory Abyssal Mask is definitely struggling in that little 1v1 there.
No, I'm not saying they will 1v1 each other.
Yeah, if they
I'm
1 for
saying
1,
if
no.
for some reason Chippies runs towards the back line, like right now,
This might be
he
it.
is zooming away and they can't catch him. He's too quick.
Who's quicker, Darkside or Chippies?
Chippies right now.
Yeah, okay. But I reckon Darkside probably has the move speed cap. Kuden.
However,
gets locked
Kuden
down,
might have been
silenced.
caught out. Will have to dash over. Use the cleanse, it looked like, as well.
Very nice use of the cleanse there. Gets himself out of the silence and just gets to dash away. There was definitely a pick opportunity there. Chippies kind of playing with fire right now. AV, they definitely have a game plan. You know, they're looking for that gangplank. They can't contest in the 4v4.
They will once again try and get everything onto him. The slow will land, the rupture
Oh.
will not. And he just
Pillar?
runs so damn quick. Pillar is there, but the teleport coming in. And you just see they're leaving him to 1v1 Praelis. Poor Praelis gets him nearly down as well. Now Kuden trying to corral will dash over the wall and they're onto the base.
Unfortunately for AV, in a Troll versus Pirate 1v1, the Pirate absolutely wins, you know. He brought a club to a gunfight, and Chippies bops him in the head. That's going to be the base broken on the top side of the map. Inhib not yet dead, but big deal is the Banshee's broken. Big chunk onto Jake as well.
I would say
Hook
also
lands.
the big deal is now Jake has to
Oh.
flash. Will get picked up by Kuden for 2 and 10. You can see Flash Body
Yeah.
Slam Party Cast is actually on point. Frey will turn around, start flinging spells at everyone, but they're just not taking damage. Double kill picked up for Kuden. Shockwave will land. Triple kill picked up for Kuden. Will this be the Penta? He's going forward.
Oh.
He didn't get it. Darkside will get hooked over his head and Chippies will take the kill, but it looks like they're going to force us to game 3.
Not getting a Penta, but a 6-11 scoreline for the Pike. Kuden absolutely popping off this game.
Certainly is. And Nexus turret number 1 will fall. Nexus turret number 2 will join it. And Chippies 9-0-8. Kuden 6-2-1. Their carries lead Mammoth to game 3.
And such a huge turnaround from game number 1. Absolute disaster. Game number 2. Going back to comfort, you know. Kuden is that guy. When a new champ comes out, he just spams the living hell out of it. He's an off-roll support player. Has played the Pike 2 games in a row. Has looked incredibly good. Chippies on that gangplank. Seems to be unpunishable in the top side. We'll be flipping back for game number 3, of course. Going back to red side for Mammoth. So maybe things do change, but they should feel good.
Certainly should. I think I like the draft a lot more. I like the execution. Avant were in that game.
Yep.
That was by no stretch of the imagination a stomp, but
Yep.
Gangplank just scaled up too quickly. Too much farm allocation went towards Chippies for them to really be able to deny it.
They definitely had the early game lead. You know, they had the lead on the bottom side. They had those dragons, went for the ocean, went for the earth, things like that. And we're looking to snowball it out into similar fashion, but unfortunately just couldn't do it there. And Mammoth come away with the victory.
Yeah, they certainly do. And I think that when you're Mammoth, when you've had, you know, a disappointing performance game number 1, to be able to show some class, the bounce back being there does show that, you know, even though they're a new team, you know, now 5 weeks into their journey, 6 weeks into the journey, it is starting to come together.
I mean, we were talking about resilience in Claire. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of a meme about, like, the tier purchase. But, like, Juves is a player that has shown, like, time and time again, no matter what iteration of Sin or Mammoth, what roster he's on, he just breeds that sort of mentality where it doesn't matter, like, how hard you kick him, he's getting back up 100%.
He's that meme personified. Like, you know that old dude that's like, it's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's about how many times you get back up. That is Juves.
Yep.
Like, in 50 years, he time traveler. I don't know. Something like that.
But it works, you know. They even out the series. This was honestly, after game 1, looking like an AV stomp.
Yep.
Like, they looked super clean. Mammoth looked all out of sorts. Turning it around now, like the end of that game, very convincing. Now there's like things for AV to worry about. Like, is this gangplank something we have to deal with? Do you have to ban it away? Now they're on blue side. Like, you do have the ability to target ban more so because you don't have to ban the OPs in first pick. But there's definitely a lot of opportunities. Morgana was now unsuccessful this game, but looked good.
Potentially more questions than answers, but we're going to get them after this quick break, guys. On the other side of it, we will go to Game 3 in the final match of the night between Avant Gaming and Mammoth.
Thanks to Hungry Jacks, you can win a trip for 2 to the 2018 World's Grand Final in Korea. To enter, head to ost.lolesports.com/worlds-trip and fill out your details. The trip includes flights, transfers, accommodation, and tickets to the 2018 World's Grand Final. All thanks to Hungry Jacks.
With the gold changes coming to patch 8.14, I thought we would pay an homage to funnel compositions and see a series of plays OPL teams showcase when trying to attack these strategies head-on. What we've seen can be broken down into 3 distinct categories. Outmaneuvering the funnel on a macro level, early skirmishing around the mid lane and jungle, and creating volatility and picking on the helpless side lanes. First, we're looking at Legacy versus Ascension from the Rift Rivals Grand Final. Legacy recognized the funnel in Champ Select and drafted Kench for the speed at which he can move around the map with Abyssal Voyage. Funnels are incredibly broadcast in what they want to do. That is constantly put jungle camps on cooldown and catch mid waves every time they look to crash. Knowing this, at 9 minutes after hitting level 6, Legacy pulled Ascension all the way topside, taking down an unanswerable first Rift. This starts a domino effect, leading to a bunch of uncontested objectives. Rift Herald, Mountain Drake, not to mention opening up the map very early through breaking mid lane. Opening up the map makes a funnel comp's life very difficult. Without towers to fall back to, it's incredibly hard to secure the guaranteed farm for your super carry and get to the item breakpoints you so desperately need. The second example is significantly more proactive. At just the 3-minute mark, Legacy first ganked the mid lane, taking down Frey's Lucian and immediately looking to float the pressure into the jungle. Funnel comps are all about efficiency and scaling. Making picks to break the cycle is one of the quickest ways to cut down their win conditions. Continuous pressure from Legacy's mid-jungle 2v2 allows them to force AV away from camps and maintain level leads in both roles for the majority of the early game. By the time second Dragon is taken at 14 minutes, Echo is basically even with the Lucian in CS, and both Claire and Only are a level up on their opponents. Sure, Legacy ultimately did not win this game, but it wasn't due to the effectiveness they showed in shutting down the funnel early. Lastly, we take a look at Tectonic from their Week 1 match versus AV. Funnel comps don't have a jungler, instead opting for that second support to help shovel farm into the mid laner. Starting from only 6 minutes into the game, Tectonic open up the side lanes, rotating Paprise's Camille mid lane to look for a dive. The pure tank of Pabu's Mundo cannot hold up to the ever-growing split push threat that is Camille, as she continually finds pick after pick, albeit trading sometimes, with the help of Tectonic's actual jungler. It's on the funnel team to play extraordinarily disciplined in the side lanes. AV don't, and eventually, Paprise can straight one-shot Frey's super farm Graves, leading to their demise. Funnels are pretty new, and for the short time they've been around, have completely changed the competitive landscape of League of Legends. But as time went on, we saw more teams experiment and find success with shutting them down, because failure to prepare against a funnel might just result in you getting pentakilled before 20 minutes.
Hungry Jack's new pulled beef burger. Slow-cooked pulled beef with crispy slaw and paired perfectly with new pulled beef loaded chips. Cooked slowly, but enjoyed quickly.
Chippies actually does massive amounts of damage to Frey, flashes forward, gets knocked up. A very nice hook will drag them back, and somehow Juves lives. Pabu now will get bound up, will just sit there on auto attack, doesn't have the ultimate available, and Chippies goes over the wall, will grab another kill for himself. He's on a rampage. Pabu is just getting tossed around like a ragdoll. Will have to burn the cleanse. I feel like if they just had to commit to Baron, they'll be alright. But they tried to do both, and now they're in some trouble. 300 health. They actually steal it. Kuden steals the Baron. Now he's popping off with the reset. That will be another member falling down, and Avant cannot save this. Frey will get shot in the face by Chippies. They clean house and take Baron. Now Jake has to flash, will get picked up by Kuden. 4, 2, and 10. You can see Flash Body Slam Party Cars is actually on point. Frey will turn around, start flinging spells at everyone, but they're just not taking damage. Double kill picked up for Kuden. Shockwave will land. Triple kill picked up for Kuden. Will this be the Penta? He's going forward. He didn't get it. The Nexus turret number 1 will fall. Nexus turret number 2 will join it. And Chippies 9-0-8. Kuden 6-2-1. Their carries lead Mammoth to game 3.
Hello.